This wild mushroom might be the most extraordinary natural material ever carved into a drinking vessel, and you've probably walked past one growing on a rotting tree before, because the second a reishi is harvested from the forest floor, it goes through a long drying process as craftsmen race to prepare each thick stem, since the entire cup depends on what happens to the raw material before a single gouge or hook knife ever touches the surface. Because unlike every other mushroom found in nature, the reishi doesn't soften or decay after harvesting. It hardens completely into a structure as dense and solid as wood, giving craftsmen a material tough enough to be hollowed by hand, using specialized tools in a process so precise and so unforgiving that one single slip of the blade ruins the natural exterior skin that took years to grow on the forest floor and can never be replaced or repaired once it is gone. And while most people assume the carving is the most difficult part of the entire process, there is one hidden step that determines whether the finished cup will last for years or for generations. Layer after layer of raw urushi tree sap lacquer is painted onto the hollowed surface and left to cure for weeks at a time inside a humid environment. Because natural lacquer doesn't harden through evaporation like ordinary paint, but through a slow chemical reaction that only activates in the presence of moisture, building up coat by coat into a heat-resistant waterproof shell that becomes harder and more durable, with every single layer added over months of patient, unhurried work. As while the final coat of lacquer reaches the perfect level of tack, fine silver and gold powders are flicked across the wet surface, settling into the darkness of the lacquer and creating a depth so rich and so complex that every single cup ends up looking like a galaxy captured inside a drinking vessel pulled straight from the forest. But after months of harvesting, carving, lacquering, and polishing with nothing but a fine stone and water until the surface achieves a perfect mirror shine, a traditional red seal is stamped onto the base, marking the same wild mushroom that once grew silently in the forest as a museum-grade masterpiece built to outlast generations.